Hey guys, it's Kayla, or Moon, or your local socialist. What's up? Now, originally, this video was going to focus on War of Managers and the commentary around queerbaiting that occurs in that story. However, with all the recent discourse surrounding this topic, I felt like it was too important to just toss into a random video. So here we are. Today we're having a discussion about queerbaiting in BL. Is it a problem? Does it even exist? These are just some of the questions we'll be trying to answer. But first, let's take a look at the definition of queerbaiting. The Oxford English Dictionary defines queerbaiting as the harassment, abuse, or targeted provocation of LGBT people. Although the OED is considered the principal historical dictionary of the English language, I feel that we should also consider how the term is being used online. So, to get a better idea of what queerbaiting means colloquially, we can look to a crowdsourced encyclopedia like Urban Dictionary, which defines the term as a marketing technique used to attract queer viewers that involves creating romantic or sexual tension between two same-sex characters, but never making it canon or evolving it. You know what? No big words. Here's an example. I'm a lesbian. I see a lesbian character in a show. I watch the show. The lesbian character ends up with a guy. I feel betrayed. It's more complex than that, but you get the idea. So because queerbaiting is a tactic used in marketing, we can easily relate it to another term called rainbow capitalism. Have you ever walked into a store and seen a Pride collection that magically appears during the month of June? If so, have you ever wondered if the corporation that owns that store is trying to profit off a marginalized community? Well, we do live in a capitalist society. This type of advertising comes into play when you think about all the brand sponsorships in BL. I won't be focusing too much on how dramas are funded, but I do have an old video discussing product placement. Watch at your own risk. What I do want to focus on is the structure of the BL industry, specifically the Thai market. Boys love is a genre that profits largely off stories depicting MLM relationships, and because of this, I don't think it's asking too much for gay people to be respected. On paper, we've never been the target audience for this content, but it's no surprise that we're drawn to it. As a queer person, some experiences are universal. It's because of this that many of us enjoy BL. A personal reason why I found myself in this niche space is because a lot of Western LGBTQ+ media is very white. And I'm Filipino, so those cultural factors that go into being out in the Asian community are typically lost. Even the most fantasized depiction of reality holds some truth. We've come here both to revel in and escape from that truth. As long as we're here, we want to be represented, and I think that's where much of the outrage around queerbaiting stems from. Not long ago, BL dramas were full of stereotypes about the LGBTQ+ community, whether it was gay men being characterized as predatory or trans women being used solely for comedic relief. Nobody wants to be portrayed so negatively. How would you feel if others were earning money through offensive caricatures of your community? I would theorize that queerbaiting accusations are a direct response to us feeling fetishized. And here, the word fetishized is referring to the sexual objectification of gay Asian men. There's an already existing structure to the BL industry, and the ethics behind that are a different conversation. You don't need a PhD to see how this kind of structure can put those working under it at a disadvantage, especially if they're queer, but I'll get to that in a second. Along the way, that anger we had towards the system got redirected at the individual. In the past 2, maybe 3 years, there's been a huge uptick in queerbaiting accusations against BL actors. The evidence for these accusations usually traces back to fan service. After all, the BL industry thrives off ambiguity. Actors will often be told not to disclose their sexualities or to exaggerate their openness to all possibilities. By keeping it vague, you create speculation, and those what-ifs are the driving force behind shipping culture. A good example is Off-Gun. These two are regarded as pillars of the industry and have totally mastered the art of fan service. Presently, they neither confirm nor deny being in a relationship, though they do have their friendship to fall back on. Another recent example are Z and Nanu, who said during an interview that they act like a couple because they take care of each other. Some fans interpreted this as confirmation of their relationship. From these examples, we see what could be fan service playing out, and as a result, that line between what's real and what's fake is being blurred. The issue of queerbaiting has been depicted in fiction as well. In the series Lovely Writer, we meet the character Jean, an author whose BL novel is massively successful and on track to becoming its own series. The casting director invites him to watch the audition, and he soon realizes exactly what he signed up for. The staff reject one actor because he looks too gay, making him less attainable to the target demographic of straight female fans. They consider another actor because he's openly gay, and hiring him will earn them points with the LGBTQ+ community. This scene is brilliant because it shows just how prevalent homophobia is towards queer talent. In the series War of Y, we meet the characters Knot and Pan, a popular BL pairing who are secretly together. Their affection towards each other becomes misconstrued as excessive fan service, and fans begin swarming them with accusations of queerbaiting. Knot is also accused of sexual harassment after kissing Pan on a live stream. This is all despite the fact that they are gay and in a relationship. Ultimately, Pan is driven mad by the expectations placed on them and attempts to kill himself. See, this is what I worry about, labeling actors as queerbaiters, because several deductions go into that accusation. First, you have to assume that the actor is not queer, and often the things that are cited as evidence of how straight an actor is contribute to stereotypes about what it looks like to be queer. Next, you have to assume that the actor fits into the gender binary and identifies as male, which is a plausible concern with people like Copter coming out as non-binary. I guess my fear is that we're pressuring actors to platform their sexualities in a country that's socially and legislatively conservative. I understand wanting to feel represented in a genre that has misrepresented us before. It just makes me a tad uncomfortable labeling an individual who I don't personally know, because I know what it's like to be assigned as straight or cisgender based on how you present yourself. And frankly speaking, another person's sexuality is none of your business. I truly do believe that queer fans who harass actors into coming out reside in an environment where they've never had to confront their own privilege, whether it's racial, social, or economical. There's a reason why rates of suicide and homelessness are higher for BIPOC youth in the LGBTQ+ community. Factors like race and ethnicity can't be ignored when we're talking about Asian actors in the continent of Asia. These are factors that influence coming out. There are social repercussions to this stuff. Just the other day, Tong, who plays the character Tangkun in KinPorsche, came out on stage during their world tour. He shared with fans how scared he was to tell everybody, and how he wasn't sure what his coworkers' reactions would be. "I was worried if they would accept me the way I am," he said. "But the day I decided to be myself, it turned out that they treated me better than ever." He also thanked his company, Beyond Cloud, which I found quite interesting. There does seem to be a few production companies that allow their talent more self-expression, and I find that important to highlight. As well, there are many queer writers, directors, and various staff working behind the scenes on BL dramas. It's no longer a made by straight women for straight women industry. Things have diversified a lot. I've often heard directors refer to BL as a soft power, which means the genre is influential in the fight for equal rights. I do believe this is another reason why fans want to be represented by these actors, because it's not just about wanting a gay couple in a series. It's about marriage equality and showing people that we deserve to be treated normally. I am aware of a few actors who have gone on record saying, "I'll come back to BL when I run out of money," and similar remarks. I bring this up because these actors have received queerbaiting accusations as well. However, I think there's a difference between queerbaiting and just being an asshole. A singular person doesn't really possess the same authority as an entire economic system, unless that system is backing them. But judging by their irrelevancy, that doesn't seem to be the case. Make no mistake, queerbaiting does exist, not just as a marketing tactic for corporations, but a tool for viewers to analyze media. There are some great videos out there discussing how it's used in Western TV, film, and literature. You guys know I love to criticize media. That's why I have a whole channel dedicated to BL commentary. But here's the thing. When you start applying media critique to actual people, it can be quite dehumanizing. And the one thing you never want to lose sight of is your humanity. At the end of the day, these BL actors are just trying to survive under capitalism like the rest of us. Some of them will remain closeted for personal and professional reasons. Others are in a position where they feel safe coming out. And the rest are just allies. Do assholes exist? Yes. But everybody who gives respect should receive respect, especially for the right to protect your identity. It's upsetting that people can still be fired for something as commonplace as being queer. It's upsetting that people will view you with prejudice after sharing this part of yourself. But that's the real world, and we have to live in it. Thank you to the moon and back for watching, and thank you to the lovely members of the Mooniverse. I know queerbaiting is a topic that many content creators have been discussing, but I hope I was able to contribute something valuable to the conversation. I would love to hear from you guys because I'm just one person, and there are about 100 angles you could look at this from. So tell me your thoughts. Anyway, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!